Hey guys, this is my review of my indoor golf simulator build. I've had a lot of people asking questions, so I thought I'd make this video just explaining, everything that went into it, as well as the products that you see. So I'll put links in the description in case you're interested in any of those. So also please make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna get this channel going. I'm gonna do a lot of reviews with different launch monitors, softwares, things like projector settings, setup, but this video will just be covering the basics of what went into this build. So starting out back, I have the FlightScope Mevo Plus launch monitor, and it is inside of this custom hard case. A gentleman on one of the Mevo user Facebook pages makes these and has a website that I'll put links to. And it's pretty reasonable. It's about $45 to $50 for this case. Really easy to adjust the tilt and roll, and it also has a piece of acrylic out front to protect it in case a ball comes back. One of the biggest things with these Mevo Pluses is having them set up correctly to get the correct data. As you can see back there, I also have a GC2. I've been running these things side by side, and I'm pretty impressed with what this thing can do when it's set up the right way. It is sitting 8 foot back from my tee area. And then I have 9.5 feet of travel to the screen. I'm also gonna do a video testing it out at 7 feet back as opposed to 8 feet, and kind of use the GC2 as a reference point, as it seems like a few people are running it at 7 feet. So we'll try it out and see why. Maybe we could save a little bit of real estate on the back end. So what it's sitting on is a basically custom built mat that I did. The turf is putting green turf from a local turf supplier here in Arizona. I'm sure you probably have one in your area. This is actually an outdoor putting green turf. They had 4 versions to offer. I tried them all out, with my putter and ball, and this one rolled the best, and surprisingly enough was the cheapest. This is I got a 15 foot by 10 foot piece, and it was about $300. So it was pretty reasonable. And trimmed down, what you're looking at on the main pad is 10 foot wide by 12 foot deep. And then sticking out back, obviously, we have another little piece for the Mevo Plus. A lot of people ask if this is glued down. It is not glued down. It actually sits freely on a Amazon gym puzzle mat. So it's 1 inch thick. It's a nice dense foam. I tried a few different ones, but this one was the nicest, being a little bit denser for the stance portion of it. So it's 1 inch thick with a turf sitting on top, which I wanted to make this room multi-purpose. So if I ever need to roll this up and I want to, work out in here, I can roll this thing up really easy, take it out, or just roll it up and leave it rolled up out the front of the screen and use this whole back area. For the pad, the same thing. Since I had a bigger roll, because they sell it in 15 foot widths, I made a little lily pad for the Mevo, and it just, same mat, just locks right in. So if I decide to switch to the GC2 and I don't want to waste this space, I can just unhook this, haul it off in a couple seconds, and as you can see, everything lays flat and it does not move. So no glue, just freestanding, but probably due to that mass is why it doesn't, shuffle around. But I've never had to adjust it once, and I've swung, hundreds of times in here so far. For the hitting area, I just have a insert. This is an off-brand insert. It's just one that I actually had, but I really like it. It's a nice thick nap, and when you hit fat shots on this, they will penalize you. I mean, it really grabs a lot of that turf and replicates a fat shot pretty well. And then that way, whenever I decide to get another one, I can just, when this gets used up, I can just drop it right in. But I am on the market and looking at some different options as well. So if I get a different one, I'll kind of cover more details in that. The other thing that's great about this one is it takes a real tee, just fine. If I can do it with my, I'll put the tee in crooked. Yeah, so it takes a real tee just fine. I wasn't as graceful as that. Let's try that again. There you go. And when you hit it, the tee flips out and kind of replicates real grass pretty well. So that is that up front. You probably see the putting cups. Those are Birdie Ball putting cups. And Birdie Ball is a company that makes a few different golf products. They're pretty well known for their putting mats, which I had before, and these were left over. But you can buy these cups separately, and they're pretty reasonable. They're just plastic, but they're about 25 bucks. But they look nice, and you can get the cutting tool from them too, which is what I did. So once I got my turf all in place, just take the cutting tool and just, cut it out. It makes a nice clean cut. And if I flip the turf back, you can see it just fits in from underneath. And again, this whole mat is easily movable. It's not stationary. I can take it out, I can change it. So that's what I like about that. One over there too. I know some people were asking, why don't I have a cup in the middle for putting alignment? Well, with the Mevo, you have to putt off to the side. GC2, you can putt right where the ball is. I don't know which launch monitor I'm going to stick with right now, so I have a little dot down there that I put up whenever I'm putting, or I can use a putting disc for now until I decide, you know, what I'm going to do. Over off to the side here, covering up some of the wires, is another piece of artificial turf. This is like a sorry, this is like a rough putting turf. And I got this one from Lowe's, and it was, you can have them cut it to whatever size. I just wanted it to like kind of hide the wires a little bit better. And if a ball rolls off, it just kind of goes into the rough. And then it just makes everything look a little cleaner. A lot of this is just attention to detail, and to make this setup, since mine's indoors, it's not in a garage, to make it look, you know, professional and clean. So that was about 20 bucks for that little piece. I just had them cut it to my 8-inch width, and just fits right down in there, also freestanding, so I can pull it right out as well. For the computer running the software, well, first I got it on a Amazon Basics tripod laptop stand. Pretty simple. It's about $30 for this stand. It works really well. It's sturdy, adjustable height, adjustable base, and sitting on top of it is a Alienware M17 R3 laptop with a NVIDIA 2070 Super graphics card and an Intel 10th Gen i7. And I can tell you I've run GS Pro on here, FSX 2020, E6 Connect, and Creative Golf 3D, which I'll definitely be making some Creative Golf 3D videos as well, because I am pretty impressed with what that software has to offer. I actually got it for its mini games for my kids, but it's so much more than that, and I can't wait to shoot some videos explaining that whole software. But this laptop, I know people go desktop. I want a laptop because I want a portability. I want to be able to just take everything out of here easy if I needed to. And I can tell you this laptop is overly enough for what you need to do. I mean, it's running all this software, no lag, everything's perfect. It's hooked up HDMI, runs all the way up to the projector. But I will kind of go over some in another video, just kind of some graphic card setups and how to get your image perfectly on your screen. I know I see some people with, like, you know, bars, but there's definitely some tricks that I can help explain, but we'll do that in another video. So that HDMI runs all the way up to my Optoma GT1090HDR projector. I was actually looking at the GT1080HDR projector, but I got a really good open box deal on this one. And again, it's a really capable machine. It's a laser projector. I know the GT1080 is bulb, so you have to replace the bulb, whereas this one you do not. But I've heard good things about the GT1080, and I actually have my hands on one of those as well, and I'm gonna do a video on that one too, and just kind of what the differences are that I see. I have it hooked up there. Since it only has one premium HDMI port, and I wanted to get the most out of, you know, like HDR out of everything hooked up to it, I just ran a HDMI splitter. It plugs in. I got my power running up there, and I also have a 4K Fire TV stick hooked up. I know that this projector doesn't run 4K, it accepts it, but it does allow it to pass through HDR, so I wanted, you know, everything to run through that one port. And the mount, I went through several different mounts as well. This mount is also from Amazon. It will again be in the description. And this one is by far the best one that I've used. Way easy to adjust, sturdy, and it's pretty reasonable at about $25, $30. The lighting, since I had to put some lighting in here, these are also from Amazon. These are 6-inch LED drop-in, kind of like can lights, but not, because I've installed can lights. These are way easier. I put all 3 of these in about 30 minutes. And it actually comes with 6 of them for about $50 to $60. And you could adjust the temperature. I'm running soft white right now, but you can run daylight, warm white, all at the flick of a switch. I can get a ladder, go up there, pop it right out easy. It's just like spring loaded, how they're held in place, and just flip this little switch and change the colors up if I decide to. So if you need lighting, I highly recommend those. Now to the main star of the show. Well, I shouldn't say main star, but a very crucial element in this setup is the enclosure and impact screen. This is from Carl's, and this is Carl's DIY golf enclosure. This is the one with utilizing 1-inch EMT, and I actually had a 24/7 enclosure from Topgolf before this, but unfortunately, because they don't have customizable sizing, it just didn't work with this space. This nook that you see here is about 4 inches deep. The 24/7 one, the smallest one, was 5 inches deep by 8 by 10, and it just didn't work. It stuck out. I wanted it to be clean and look like it was meant to go there. So heard a lot of people talking about Carl's. I'm glad I did, because I reached out to them. I gave them the exact dimensions I want, which you're looking at here is 125 inches wide by 98 inches high and 3 feet deep. So I gave them those dimensions, and they made it for me and had it to me in like a week, and it was awesome. The only thing it didn't come with was the 1-inch EMT, but it's not really a big deal. I got it like a mile away from Home Depot. They can cut it for you if you want. I'm a big DIYer, so I just cut it myself. No problem at all. They give you the instructions beforehand, so you can get your pipe pre-cut, and everything just goes together. This screen I went with on this custom build was their premium screen. So this is their highest grade golf impact screen, and it is 7.7 feet high by 10 feet wide, and it is replaceable. So if it ever gets worn out or damaged, rest assured you can go on Carl's and replace it for a pretty reasonable amount. Now, one of the reasons I went with the 24/7 initially is because I like their safety features. They have, you know, this design to where their screen sits back and there's like a buffer zone behind it. So the back pipes that frame the screen, you don't have to worry about whacking a ball into one of those metal pipes and it coming, you know, right back at you. So I like that, but it didn't work. I still do have the enclosure, and that's being set up at my work right now with the GT1090 HDR. So I'm gonna be able to tell you exactly what I think about both qualities of units and screens. So again, that's why I decided to go with the 24/7 initially. I like the safety features, but talking to Carl's and their customer service was awesome. I found out they have safety features that you can add onto this as well. So let's kind of talk about some of those. So on their design, the screen attaches all the way around with these bungees that you can adjust. So if you want to take some tension off to reduce kickback, or if you want to pull more tension on, you can just take some bungees out or put some in. So once you put the screen on with those bungees, then it has these flaps attached to the screen, and these flaps Velcro to the canopy, you know, that goes all the way around. Well, you can add these triangular foam pieces that they sell. It's kind of like it's a nice like quality memory foam, and they know obviously what dimensions you have, so you just say, hey, I want to add these foam pieces, and they just go right in there, and then they just Velcro. That little flap Velcros them shut. So if you already have a Carl screen, you can still add these on, and I highly recommend doing it. So this whole border of this screen has that triangular foam all the way around, and it just Velcros in, except for the bottom. The way the bottom works, obviously, because there's nothing to Velcro it to, it has this attached, really heavy, it's like pebble gravel, it feels like in there. And then there's the foam piece there. There's one of the bungees. And that just tucks right underneath the artificial turf on my unit and right up against that gym mat. So that foam keeps me fully protected for all the pipes around there, and I'll tell you, I've had a few golfers hit it, and it's struck here where the pole is, where if it wasn't there, it probably would have ricocheted pretty bad, but it just fell straight to the ground with no issue. One person actually plugged it in right through the Velcro, and it stayed inside of there. So I can't recommend adding those on enough, especially if you're gonna have all different levels of golfers. You never know, who's gonna hit a big pull or a shank. And then up here as well, you can also add it up there. It doesn't really fit in that area, but it does have that Velcro flap. So what I did is I got some similar foam from Michael's, and I just stuffed it in there. So I'm fully protected, all the pipes all the way around. The other pipes on the bottom, because of my design of my mat, the turf flips up and the pipe is the same height as the gym mat, and then the grass goes over, so there's no pipe there for it to hit. For the front, I use 1-inch pipe insulation, again, purchased at Lowe's. And this just snaps right on over the pipe, really easy. You can trim it, mock it up there. It's really cheap. I mean, this is probably like 20 bucks to do the whole edge of this. And that 1-inch pipe insulation. And I know it'll still kick back if a ball hits it, but it's gonna kick back less than a pipe. And I haven't had anybody do it just yet. So aside from that, another safety feature you can add to your Carl's DIY enclosure is side netting. So obviously I don't need one over here. So what I have, when I have some different levels of golfers, to say it nicely here, I have just a foldable gym mat that comes out. And I actually got a nicer black one on order. But you just set that up there against the wall, and I've had people hit that, no problem at all. Doesn't damage the wall, and it works just fine. So that protects me on this side, but if you have two open sides, then you can get two of those Carl's mats. Tuck this away. But for the other side, since I have it open, I added on Carl's side net, and these are the 8-foot long ones. And you'll see a piece of Velcro in your Carl's enclosure again. It likely already has this in here, and you could just add this on. So it's as easy as just attaching it to the Velcro. I mean, it takes just seconds. And your side net's on. It comes with this little sandbag. I actually put just beans in here. Just so that way sand wouldn't, like, you know, have dust come through the fiber. I don't know if it would, but the beans work just fine. And now you got your side net set up. So I'm protected over here. I'm protected against the wall. I got all the inserts. And even though I designed this custom for my size with a similar screen size as the 24/7, which I believe was about $1,700 for the 24/7, even sourcing my own EMT, this enclosure was cheaper to do it this way than the 24/7 with all this extra stuff added on. So can't speak highly enough about Carl's. I paid for this with my own money. I got no discount, so I'm not just, you know, trying to push it. Everything in here, nothing was given to me, so everything was my own money, so I'm gonna give an honest review of it. But again, if you're looking for an enclosure, check out Carl's DIY. It's faster than you think, and the screen is really nice. When balls hit it, you know, I was worried about it being kind of saggy. I've seen some nets where they're saggy. It pulls nice and tight, so when you hit it, the ball will leave a dent in the screen. And as soon as you hit a different location, it pulls that dent out, and then you have a new dent. And when you're done, you just give it a little tap, and it's just gone. So really impressed with the screen quality. Oh, I think that's just the cloud. And the projector quality. So I have it really bright in here to film this video, and I'm just doing it for my cell phone because I wanted to get this video out. I do have a better camera that I'm gonna be filming the other videos with, but it's still really bright in here with all these lights on and windows open to film this. So Carl's DIY, check them out. Link in the description below. As for the lighting around the sides, I wanted to just add a little, you know, something extra to it, make it look a little more professional. This is just some basic LED light strips from Amazon. It's like 20 bucks. And the cool thing about having this 1-inch pipe foam on the side is they just stick right to the back of it, and it hides them. So all you see is the glow. You don't see the lights. And it just goes all the way around. I have outlets behind the enclosure. It's sitting a foot off the wall, which is more than enough. I've never hit the wall, and I've had some people swing in here with some pretty high ball speeds. Comes with this little remote. Want to switch it over to movie mode and throw on that, you know, fire stick, or hook up a, you know, a player over here. You can switch the lights to match the mood you're in. And I really like that. I mean, you could do like strobe lights. You want to have a dance party, and I don't know what you're into, but there you go. You can do whatever you want. So there is that. Other than that, little things like the cable routing, again, off Amazon. A lot of little things would just be purchased off Amazon. It's just easier, quick, it's fairly cheap. And if you don't like it, guess what? You can send it back, and they have a pretty good return policy. So just an overview, we covered the mat, Mevo Plus, what laptop I'm running, projector, the projector screen. If I didn't say the distance before, it's 8 feet from Mevo Plus to the ball, 9.5 feet from ball to screen. GC2 also gets ran in here sitting over there, but I'm just currently doing Mevo stuff right now, so keep a lookout for that video. Make sure to subscribe, and you'll know exactly when those videos come out, and comment below about what kind of stuff you guys want to see. If I left something out in this build, let me know. If you're wondering what that black box is too, that's a JBL 9.1 subwoofer for my JBL 9.1 soundbar that I just keep tucked back there. I have an outlet underneath the screen, so when I go into movie mode with this, which I'll show you in another video how well the Carl screen does with movies, it's really easy, and I can just bring it out in a few seconds. So again, anything you guys want to see, let me know. Any questions you have, post below, and I'll see you on the next one.